Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals to uncover the essence of their character and the timeless lessons they impart. Today, we embark on a journey through the remarkable life of Harriet Tubman, a woman whose unwavering courage, unrelenting spirit, and profound compassion have left an indelible mark on the annals of human history. Born into bondage around 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland, Harriet Tubman's early life was marked by the harsh realities of slavery. Her parents, Harriet Greene and Benjamin Ross, were enslaved Africans who toiled on the plantation of Edward Brodess, a man whose cruelty would later become a catalyst for Harriet's unwavering resolve. The rustic landscape of Dorchester County, with its dense forests, winding rivers, and fertile fields, served as the backdrop for Harriet's formative years. It was here, amidst the tranquil beauty of nature, that Harriet first experienced the brutal contradictions of slavery, where the warmth of family and community was constantly threatened by the cold harshness of bondage. As a child, Harriet was deeply influenced by her parents' strong faith and their determination to preserve their cultural heritage despite the dehumanizing effects of slavery. Her mother, in particular, played a pivotal role in shaping Harriet's early life, teaching her about the importance of family, community, and resistance against oppression. These lessons would later become the foundation upon which Harriet built her remarkable life as a freedom fighter. The historical context of Harriet's early years was marked by significant events that shaped her character and future path. The 1820s saw an increase in the abolitionist movement, with figures like William Lloyd Garrison advocating for the immediate emancipation of slaves. Although these movements were still in their infancy during Harriet's childhood, they laid the groundwork for the tumultuous decades that followed, decades in which Harriet would play a pivotal role. Harriet's education was largely informal, consisting of stories, songs, and oral traditions passed down through her family and community. These narratives not only preserved African American history and culture, but also served as a source of strength and inspiration, reminding enslaved individuals of their inherent worth and the possibility of freedom. Despite the lack of formal schooling, Harriet developed a keen sense of observation, a strong will, and an unwavering commitment to her people, qualities that would serve her well in her future endeavors. In 1844, Harriet married John Tubman, a free black man, in a ceremony that, while not legally recognized, held deep personal significance for the couple. However, their union was complicated by the fact that Harriet remained enslaved, highlighting the cruel legal realities that governed the lives of African Americans at the time. This period of her life also saw Harriet suffer a severe head injury, inflicted by an overseer who threw a heavy metal weight at another slave but hit Harriet instead. This incident would leave her with lifelong health issues, including seizures and headaches, but it also seemed to steel her resolve against the injustices of slavery. As we reflect on Harriet Tubman's early life, it becomes clear that these formative years laid the groundwork for her later achievements. The hardship she endured, the strength of her family and community, and her innate resilience all contributed to the emergence of a woman who would become one of the most iconic figures in American history. Her early life, marked by hardship, cruelty, and resilience, had prepared her for the challenges she would soon face as she embarked on her journey towards freedom, and became a beacon of hope for countless others. In 1849, Harriet Tubman made the pivotal decision to escape from slavery, driven by the fear that she would be sold to a plantation in the Deep South. This decision was not taken lightly, as it meant leaving behind her family and the only life she had ever known. However, with a deep-seated desire for freedom and an unshakable faith in a higher power, Harriet set out on the perilous journey northwards. Using the North Star as her guide and traveling under the cover of night, Harriet navigated through treacherous terrain, avoiding slave catchers and their dogs. Her journey was not without its challenges. She faced hunger, exhaustion, and the constant fear of being captured and returned to slavery. Yet, with each step, Harriet drew closer to freedom, her determination fueled by the promise of a better life. Upon reaching Philadelphia, Harriet found solace in the city's vibrant African American community, where she was met with kindness, support, and guidance. It was here that she began to build a new life, one marked by freedom and purpose. However, despite the comforts of her newfound liberty, Harriet's thoughts often turned to those she had left behind, particularly her family members who remained in bondage. This sense of responsibility and compassion would soon drive Harriet to become one of the most celebrated conductors on the Underground Railroad, a network of secret routes and safe houses used by enslaved individuals to escape to freedom. Between 1850 and 1860, Harriet made approximately 13 trips back to the South, rescuing around 70 enslaved people, including some of her own family members. Her work as a conductor was fraught with danger, requiring cunning, bravery, and an unwavering commitment to the cause of freedom. Harriet adopted various disguises and used coded messages to communicate with fellow abolitionists and escaping slaves. She also carried a revolver for protection, earning her the nickname Moses among the enslaved community, in reference to the biblical figure who led his people out of slavery. One of Harriet's most notable rescues was that of her niece, Keziah, and her children, whom she freed from a slave auction in 1856. This daring rescue not only showcased Harriet's bravery, but also highlighted the personal risks she took to reunite families torn apart by slavery. Throughout her work on the Underground Railroad, Harriet collaborated with prominent abolitionists, including William Still and Frederick Douglass. These alliances not only facilitated her rescue missions, but also underscored the broader struggle against slavery, a fight that would eventually lead to the Civil War. As we reflect on this period of Harriet Tubman's life, it becomes clear that her experiences as an enslaved person, her escape to freedom, and her work as a conductor on the Underground Railroad were all intertwined. Each step she took towards freedom was also a step towards helping others achieve theirs, embodying the spirit of solidarity and resistance that defined her life. During the Civil War, Harriet Tubman played a multifaceted role, serving as a nurse, cook, and spy for the Union Army. In 1861, she traveled to the South Carolina coast, where she provided crucial support to Union soldiers, tending to their wounds and cooking meals to sustain them through the arduous campaigns. Her knowledge of the terrain, gained from her years on the Underground Railroad, proved invaluable as she guided Union troops through the treacherous landscape. One of Harriet's most notable contributions during the war was her work as a spy. She would often disguise herself as an elderly woman or a slave, gathering vital information about Confederate troop movements and fortifications. This intelligence, relayed back to Union commanders, helped inform strategic decisions that ultimately contributed to the defeat of the Confederacy. In 1863, Harriet became the first woman to lead a military expedition in the United States, guiding a group of Union soldiers on a raid in South Carolina. The mission, known as the Combahee River Raid, resulted in the liberation of over 700 enslaved individuals and the destruction of significant Confederate infrastructure. This daring feat earned Harriet widespread recognition and cemented her status as a hero of the Union cause. Following the war, Harriet continued to advocate for the rights of African Americans, particularly during the Reconstruction era. She worked tirelessly to secure education and suffrage for former slaves, recognizing that these fundamental rights were essential to their empowerment and integration into American society. Despite facing numerous challenges and setbacks, including poverty, illness, and racism, Harriet remained resolute in her pursuit of justice. In the late 1860s and 1870s, Harriet became increasingly involved in the women's suffrage movement, attending conferences and rallies alongside prominent figures such as Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. Her experiences as a former slave and a woman had given her a unique perspective on the struggles faced by marginalized communities, and she was determined to use her voice to amplify their demands for equality. As we reflect on this period of Harriet Tubman's life, it becomes clear that her contributions to the Civil War effort and her advocacy during Reconstruction were driven by an unwavering commitment to freedom, justice, and human dignity. Her legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the transformative power of courage, resilience, and compassion in the face of adversity. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.